Bitcoin just hit $125,000. That's not a prediction. That's not a fantasy. In late 2024, Bitcoin shattered every prediction, crashed through every resistance level, and created a new class of millionaires and billionaires that nobody saw coming. The kid who bought Bitcoin in 2015 as a joke, he's now worth $47 million. The software engineer who forgot about his wallet for 8 years, he just discovered he's a multi-millionaire. The college dropout who ignored his family's warnings, he's now richer than all of them combined. But for every winner, there's someone who lost everything. Someone who sold too early. Someone who bought at the peak. Someone who's watching their friends get rich while they're left behind. This is the story of the greatest wealth transfer of the 21st century, and it's happening right now. Let's rewind. In 2022, Bitcoin crashed to $16,000. The crypto winter had arrived. FTX collapsed. Three Arrows Capital imploded. Terra Luna wiped out $40 billion in value overnight. Every financial media outlet declared crypto dead again. Bitcoin is going to zero, they said. It's a Ponzi scheme. Tulip mania, digital nothing. They were wrong, spectacularly wrong. By early 2024, Bitcoin started climbing. $30,000, then $50,000, then $75,000. The spot Bitcoin ETFs were approved, bringing Wall Street money flooding in. BlackRock, Fidelity, and other giants started buying billions. Then Donald Trump won the 2024 election and promised to make America the crypto capital of the planet. By December 2024, Bitcoin hit $100,000. The milestone everyone had been waiting for. But it didn't stop there. It kept climbing. $110,000, $120,000. And in January 2025, it touched $125,000. The crypto market cap exploded past $4 trillion, more than the GDP of Germany. And a new class of ultra-wealthy was born. The numbers are staggering. In 2020, there were approximately 100,000 crypto millionaires worldwide. By 2025, that number exploded to over 1.2 million. That's a 1,100% increase in 5 years. These aren't traditional millionaires who built businesses or climbed corporate ladders. These are 20-year-olds who bought Bitcoin in high school, 30-year-olds who threw their savings into Ethereum, 40-year-olds who held through every crash, every FUD campaign, every mainstream media hit piece. Henley & Partners, the global citizenship advisory firm, reported a massive surge in crypto millionaires seeking second passports and tax-friendly jurisdictions. Malta, Portugal, Dubai, Singapore. Countries that welcome crypto wealth are now seeing an influx of newly rich 25-year-olds looking to escape capital gains taxes. The traditional wealth management industry is scrambling. Private banks that refused to touch crypto for years are now begging these young millionaires to become clients. But these new rich don't trust traditional finance. They watched banks collapse. They saw bailouts. They remember being mocked for buying magic internet money. Now they're the ones with the wealth, and they're building their own financial system. At the top of the pyramid, the billionaires, the Winklevoss twins who bought Bitcoin at $8, are now worth over $7 billion each. Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy owns over 400,000 Bitcoin, making his paper wealth over $50 billion. The Coinbase founders, early miners, exchange operators, dozens of people became crypto billionaires in 2024 alone. But the most interesting stories aren't the obvious ones. They're the anonymous whale wallets that have been dormant for years, suddenly moving hundreds of millions in Bitcoin. Early adopters who mined thousands of coins on their laptops in 2010 and forgot about them. People who bought Bitcoin for $100 and held through every crash, every mockery, every moment of doubt. One wallet that hadn't moved since 2013 suddenly transferred $2.1 billion in Bitcoin in December 2024. Nobody knows who owns it. Nobody knows their story. They're just one of hundreds of crypto billionaires who exist in the shadows. And here's what traditional wealth watchers don't understand. These people don't want recognition. They don't want Forbes lists. They don't want attention. They just want to be left alone with their wealth. In a world where everyone's fighting for status and recognition, crypto billionaires are choosing anonymity. But for every success story, there are dozens of disasters. The other side of this wealth transfer, the people who lost everything, the traders who sold Bitcoin at $30,000 in early 2024, convinced the bear market would continue. They watched it climb to $125,000 while sitting on the sidelines. One Reddit post tells the story of someone who sold 15 Bitcoin at $28,000 for $420,000. At $125,000, those coins would be worth $1.875 million. The regret is eating him alive. Then there are the leverage traders. The people who borrowed money to buy more Bitcoin got liquidated during temporary dips and watched the price recover without them. During Bitcoin's climb from $100,000 to $125,000, over $3 billion in leveraged positions were liquidated. Thousands of traders wiped out, often right before the price continued climbing. The Mt. Gox creditors are another tragic story. They've been waiting since 2014 to get their Bitcoin back. The payouts finally started in 2024, but many sold immediately, getting $60,000 per Bitcoin. They watched those same coins hit $125,000 weeks later. They waited 10 years and still sold at the wrong time. And then there are the people who never bought at all. The skeptics who spent years mocking Bitcoin, who called it a scam, a bubble, a Ponzi, who are now watching their friends, their colleagues, their younger siblings become millionaires while they're still grinding at their jobs. The psychological damage is real. There are support groups now for people suffering from Bitcoin regret. People who had opportunities to buy but didn't, who sold too early, who stayed on the sidelines while their peers got rich. Henley and Partners reports that crypto wealth is driving a massive global migration. Rich millennials and Gen Z crypto holders are relocating to tax havens at unprecedented rates. Dubai saw over 15,000 crypto millionaires relocate there in 2024. Zero income tax, zero capital gains tax, crypto-friendly regulations. It's become the de facto capital of crypto wealth. Portugal, before closing its crypto tax loopholes, became home to thousands of crypto rich. Singapore, Switzerland, Malta, all seeing massive inflows of young, wealthy crypto holders looking to protect their gains. But this creates a problem. These aren't 60-year-old retirees moving to Florida. These are 25-year-olds in their prime earning years, leaving their home countries and taking billions in wealth with them. The brain drain is real. The tax loss is staggering. Countries are starting to panic. Some are implementing exit taxes on crypto. Others are trying to attract crypto businesses with favorable regulations. It's a global competition for crypto wealth, and traditional finance centers are losing. What's driving Bitcoin to $125,000 isn't retail anymore. It's institutions. BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF now holds over $40 billion. Fidelity's ETF has another $30 billion. Pension funds, endowments, sovereign wealth funds, they're all buying. Wall Street spent years calling Bitcoin a scam. Now they're the biggest buyers. The same analysts who said it would go to zero are now publishing $200,000 price targets. Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy became the blueprint. Borrow cheap money, buy Bitcoin, watch it appreciate faster than your interest rate. It worked. Now other companies are copying the strategy. Dozens of public companies have added Bitcoin to their balance sheets. Even nations are getting involved. El Salvador, despite skepticism, is massively profitable on its Bitcoin holdings. Other countries are watching. Rumors swirl about Russia, China, and Middle Eastern sovereign wealth funds quietly accumulating Bitcoin. The narrative has flipped. Bitcoin isn't fighting the system anymore, it's becoming the system. But here's what nobody's saying. Bitcoin at $125,000 means nothing if you can't or won't sell. The new crypto millionaires are rich on paper. Many refuse to sell, convinced Bitcoin is going to $1 million. They might be right, they might be wrong. What happens when they try to cash out? When 1.2 million millionaires start selling billions in Bitcoin to buy houses, cars, and businesses, can the market absorb that selling pressure? And what about the 99% who didn't get rich? The people working normal jobs, watching this wealth creation happen without them? The social tension is building. The wealth gap is widening. Not between old money and new money, but between those who believed in Bitcoin and those who didn't. Bitcoin hit $125,000. A new class of millionaires and billionaires was created overnight. The college dropouts, the early adopters, the hodlers who held through everything. They won. But this isn't a story with a simple ending. For every winner, there's someone who lost, someone who sold too early, someone who never bought, someone who's watching from the sidelines as their friends get rich. The greatest wealth transfer of the 21st century isn't finished. It's just beginning, and nobody knows how it ends. The only certainty, the world just changed, and most people missed it.